Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Live Album Love, alongside in the co-captain's chair, as always, Mr. Rick Labonte. What's happening, my friend?
Oh, very good. And today Jimmy Page's birthday. And
Happy
that's
birthday,
so
Jimmy. How old is Jimmy today? What is he, like 78?
81, I believe. 81.
He's
And
81?
Elvis was
Jeez.
90 yesterday. When you think about the king of rock and roll, but to turn
Yeah.
90. Wow.
God, Jimmy Page is almost as old as my mom. That's crazy. You tend to, well, that's the crazy thing, right? Because we grew up with these guys, with these artists, these musicians, and in our minds, they're always going to be like 30 and 40 years old. And then all of
Yes.
a sudden you blink and they're like as old as our parents. And it's just like, and then you stop and think, shit, I'm pretty fucking old too, right? So it's like,
I know we're good up there.
so,
Uh,
well, happy birthday, Jimmy Page. And today on Live Album Love, we're not going to talk about Led Zeppelin today, but
no,
maybe we should.
another time.
That would have worked out perfectly. But no, we're actually going to talk about Santana today. So another great band from that got their start in the '60s that has a lot of live releases over the years. There were probably too many to even own. I've got a bunch, but there's probably a ton that I'm missing. But for Santana, obviously the allure of their live performances probably, really started on with Woodstock, right? That kind of catapulted them to fame, right? And so basically with the Woodstock film, Soul Sacrifice was the song that really kind of jump-started their career. Rick's got I have that also as well here. So the Woodstock experience, this puts together both I believe was it a remaster of the first album? I don't remember. It might just be a
Yes,
straight
that's right. Remaster the first
remaster
album.
of the first album and the full Woodstock performance
Complete.
uh, right there. But the in the ensuing years, and we'll get to like the official live releases that came out during that
Yes.
'70s run. But in the ensuing years, as with lots of bands from that have a certain vintage, we've seen lots of cool live albums come out of many great performances, especially back in the early days. And I think the earliest one that we have seen to date was from 1968, live at the Filmore West.
Yes.
So this came out on Columbia Legacy in 1997. And this is really interesting because this predates um, Woodstock by, geez, I don't know, I remember the exact
Well,
dates.
definitely a year for sure.
It's at least a year. Yeah, it's at least a year. I'm trying to remember the exact. So it was the summer of six. Hold on a second. No, it was December. So it's roughly not quite a year, but it's close to it. So they play four consecutive nights at the Fillmore West, December 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd, in late '68, right before the holidays. And just think about that. This was a different time, right? When bands like this would play multiple nights, sometimes two, three times a day at a place like the Filmore East or the Filmore West and not think anything twice of it. And it doesn't say it in here, but I can only imagine what the lineup of other bands that played those couple of dates were. So this performance is taken, I guess these are recordings from that run, right? I don't think it's from any specific night, but it's interesting comparing this to like the Woodstock performance. This is really raw, like really raw. And I think the band, because I like this, but I like other live albums of theirs
Me
better. I
too.
think they really gelled as a band between this time and by the time August of '69 rolled around when they played at Woodstock. Because I remember when I first got this, I was kind of thinking, wow, that's not quite as refined and fiery. It's got a lot of the songs we love, like Jingo's on here, Persuasion, Treat. You got some jams like Chunk of Funk and Fried Neck Bones, Conquistadors, Ride Again. I think there's a lot more jamming on here than there are concrete songs. You also have Soul Sacrifice, and then you got As the Years Go Passing By and Freeway. So it's like a mix of like covers and jams and a couple of songs from the soon to be released debut album.
That's right.
So for those who want like a really early snapshot of the Santana band, this is really cool for that. But I think, like myself personally, I don't reach for this all too often because I just think that this is like the band in their real infancy and they really haven't found their way yet. But I
Yeah.
think you would probably agree that at Woodstock, this was a band firing on absolutely all cylinders already.
I'm sure those Fillmore performances, even though this is one specific, performance that got them on to be popular. The word of mouth got around. Hey, this band is pretty exciting. It's different, and it's enough to get them onto the Woodstock. But this was the, incredible performance, and it took us so many years to get the complete show.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fantastic that they had it all this time, and nothing was lost. Because there are some sets that there's some songs that, they ran out of tapes, or sometimes that happened, but they were lucky they got the whole thing. What's interesting, though, is that Carlo just got been given acid or something like that, and he thought he had a few hours before he can mellow out before it would come on, and they said, "Oh, look like we're ahead of schedule. You're on." What?
Yeah, they went on right in the middle of the day, which is crazy, right? But
Yeah, but it was good to get the band in their fine form, and they really gel, and this should definitely put them in a to start them. Once that gets into film and people started seeing it, and of course, Black Magic Woman's on the second album is a big hit,
yep.
and the momentum is up there. They will be headlining their own shows because of this Woodstock performance going forward. They weren't just a guest on a festival list; they could run the whole show if they wanted to because they started becoming a very popular demand.
Yeah, yeah. I still to this day, I still think their Woodstock set is one of the great live performances of all time for them or anybody else, really. But thankfully, we have other really, really good ones that have been
Yes,
released
we
over
do.
the year. And the next one that I have, you probably have it as well. This place, uh, for what? Again, this is we're actually going forward almost a year to the day. August 18th of 1970 at Tanglewood in Lenox, Massachusetts. We've got the Live at Tanglewood set, which is incredible. And I don't know what it is. I guess you could say the same thing about Woodstock, but for some reason at Tanglewood, because you got the great Chicago set and the great Who set, and I think Traffic
Yes.
played as well. There was something about
Yes,
something in the
Tom.
water in Lenox, Massachusetts during the Tanglewood period here, because there's so many great sets from this particular festival here. And here again, a year later, so we've got the first two albums are out now by this point. So you've got a lot of same songs on a lot of these albums, but mixed with all these cool little jams and things like that, it makes them all different. But I would say it's got like a 13-minute Soul Sacrifice. You've got, Hope You're Feeling Better's on here, Evil Ways, Incident in the Shabber, Oye Como Va. I mean, it's all on here. Jingo is great on here. This is fiery and amazing, and the whole band, again, in really, really great form. And this is right before Neil Sean joins the band. So this is
Yeah.
just prior to the third album. So everything kind of going forward, I think that we're going to talk about for the next 2 years, 2, 3 years or so, is going to feature the expanded lineup with two guitars with Neil Sean.
The reason to get that album is just for that song you mentioned. Hope you're feeling better, because there's a lot of live albums you don't get that song at all,
That is
and
true.
and I love that tune. I think it's one of my favorites actually. So, but if people want to check out the actual footage, is available on YouTube as of
Yeah.
today, and even Jethro Tull playing there, and quite a few
I keep
great.
forgetting Tall played. Yep, yep.
Yes. And so, yeah, what an amazing event. I mean, I was expecting, I'm surprised we don't know much of that Tanglewood 2 years later, but it must be just as powerful as the Fillmore East as far as having all these historic moments captured there. And
Yeah, and all the bands delivered. I mean, like I said, I have the CDs of the recordings of not only Santana, but I've also got the Who and the Chicago one. And I mean, the Chicago set is absolutely amazing. The Who set is great too. So I don't know, it just every band was on fire. Just
And the room must sound great to record because it's very good recording. It doesn't sound muddy. It's like you can hear the separation of everybody. You know how big Santana is.
oh
Sometimes
yeah,
that could be a nightmare for an engineer trying to mic everybody. And with the
all the
percussions alone is a
percussionists,
lot of
right?
work.
Yeah,
And so, but no, you hear everything very good. You feel like you're in the seat watching the show by that's
right
how good
there.
recording is.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. What do you got next?
Next is Fillmore East 71 for me, if you have that.
I do.
That one's a good one. Again, this is again some of the similar songs that you have. I imagine he sharing the bill because it's only 10 songs here, so they're not as long as the
Yeah.
previous show that you mentioned. So they're obviously sharing the bill with somebody else. But Bill Graham really loved these guys. He invites them a lot. He's one of his favorite. And a lot of albums that you get Bill Graham introducing
Yes.
Carlos Santana a lot. They're
He was
like
really good
buddies.
friends with the band. And
Yeah,
then
he's big
a
time.
very, very young Neil Sean there. So, of course, he's
Yeah.
on this tour. And there's, in fact, Neil holds himself very well on this. And there's lots and lots of cool guitar jams between the two of them. I really like this one a lot, even though it is a little on the shorter side. But yeah, the playing is just absolutely great. And like the ending jam Gumbo is just like it's just really, really good.
Yes, yes. And people won't be disappointed. You get this record, you say, wow, to have this in a vault this long and a sound this good, it's a wonder why they didn't release it before.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the
So
next one I have, I don't know if you have anything else from 71. I got 72 as my next, and that's
go ahead.
probably Carlos Santana and Buddy Miles.
Oh, okay. I don't have that.
You don't have this. Oh, you need
Oh
this.
my
Really good.
gosh.
Yeah, this is really good. So this was like a cool jam between the Santana band and the Buddy Miles band because Buddy Miles had his band going on too after the kind of dissolution of the Electric Flag, and this is really really good stuff. And again, an interesting mix of tunes. You got Marbles, Lava, so again some jams. You got Evil Ways is on here. You got Faith Interlude. You got Them Changes, which of course but which was
Yes.
Buddy's song, brought it to the Band of Gypsies, and then you got this Freeform Funkified Filth, which is like a 25-minute long jam. So this is just wild, unconventional. There's a lot of others I would get first, but I think if you're a fan of Carlos and Santana and you like Buddy Miles too, it's kind of like a meeting of the two bands. I think this is highly recommended. And yeah, I think this is out of print. I got this a million years ago, but I'm not even sure if this is still available. But for you, I think you need it because
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I mean, imagine with Bunny Miles' funky and soul stuff, that would fit well with the Santana music. I can
it really
imagine that.
does. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
why it's no surprise that Buddy joined the Santana band like in the 80s for like an album and tour.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
was totally made sense, I think.
Yes, and this is the time when he started to go into the fusion arena quite in this period. So this is a very experimental period for Carlo. He did a lot of stuff in the first three albums, and he started going on this direction. So it made sense to me to see this Buddy Miles relationship work out because he is going into different territory of music. Carlos was soul searching as well musically and spiritually at this point.
Spiritually, yeah. Yes. I mean, you got the Caravanserai album, which was
Yes.
really, really different for the band. And then, of course, he starts hanging out with a guy named John McLaughlin. And
Yes.
here is a live set from Chicago with the two of them playing along with members of the Santana band and John's band playing doing a Love Supreme. And this is really cool. This is two discs. It's like each disc is like 70 something minutes long. So this is like hours of cool live stuff. They did the album together, so you got lots of that. You got some Coltrane stuff on here as well. Billy Cobham's on here, so you got some of the Mahavishnu Orchestra dudes on here. Um, they do Tori and Matador, which is a Billy solo thing. So a lot of cool stuff, a lot of jams. I think if you're a Santana fan, you need to have this. For me personally, anything that John and Carlos did together, I'm all over because I love both guitar players, and I think it was really cool that they were doing all this collaboration at the time. Look at because they were doing the Sri Chimoy thing at the time, right? They were both very spiritual, so they're wearing like the garb of the Sri Chimoy, the white outfits and whatnot.
Yes.
Kind of bizarre,
They
but
were sitting down and playing. I remember that.
yeah,
I saw some footage. Now that was a Chicago broadcast, right? That
yeah,
the radio broadcast. So,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, it was recorded September 1st, 1973 at the
yes.
International Amphitheater in Chicago, and it was a live FM broadcast from the Chicago Amphitheater. So 152 minutes. That's
Wow.
a lot of music. It's a lot of
Big
music. But
time.
really good stuff. Really good stuff. What do you got next?
Let's see. 1974 is when I got Lotus. Did you have anything before that?
No, I do not. Yeah, and
So this was again Another, oh, interesting Japanese
I
print.
went out and bought the Japanese, the full blown kit and caboodle. So yeah, this has got everything you have and a few extra things.
And some, eh?
Yeah, this was the Rhino Deluxe Edition. I paid a lot of money for this, and it's in a weird package, right? Because it's like obviously, bigger than but it's got I think it's got three discs, all sorts of fold out poster stuff, and I mean,
Oh yeah, could they do that already in this record?
yeah, this has got even more.
Oh,
This is, I mean, if you're a real big fan and if you love the Lotus album, I think you have to have this because it's pretty
okay,
cool.
I will.
Yeah, it's and it's got, hybrid SACD version and it's remastered and yeah, it's pretty damn cool.
I
So,
gotta imagine the vinyl was really awesome to have all these posters coming out, right? I mean, that's one of the things that it was very common in the 70s to throw in some posters inside these albums. And yeah, you can tell he's definitely going through a little more spiritual and meditation and does a lot of different things that he incorporated. He wanted the music to sound what he wanted to hear if he was meditating, and some of that music is in there. But this is a decent live album, and
I think it's great.
yeah,
It's
I like it. I
very
play it a
raw.
lot because
So Rick,
it
I'm just going to be very careful opening this up for you because I know yeah, you can see
oh
how much
yeah,
stuff is in here. It's
oh wow,
literally this is for the collector. This yeah, it's all like there's so much stuff in here. Hold on a second. So
yeah, no doubt.
you got the tour the Caravanserai tour booklet, the little mini replica of that. You got all sorts of tray cards with live photos and things.
That's
You
awesome.
got a breakdown of the arena and the seats and everything like that. Yeah, there.
Really, that's
And
great.
you got the full booklet here, which is awesome. Yeah, this is a nice set. Again, it's kind of shaped weird, and it's a weird size. It's not quite as big as an LP, but it's like but yeah, and the tour booklet thing is really really cool too. It's just
Did you
yeah.
get that through Canon or that through line
No,
online?
I bought this I think on eBay or something. So
I gotta look out for that.
yeah, and it was kind of pricey. I paid over $100 for it, but
But looking at what you get, you got a lot of stuff there.
yeah, it's really worth it. And and like I said, you have the three discs. You have a couple extra tracks that aren't on the original CD issue.
Now, the extra stuff are just other versions of the song or other songs that you never.
Songs that never made it to the
Oh,
original.
okay.
Yeah, so it's
Well, that's a reason in itself.
yeah, so it's definitely worth getting. But I always like Lotus. Again, it's a interesting time in their period because it's not quite the classic lineup. It's a more
Nope.
expanded lineup. So like, by this time Neil Sean is gone, Greg Raleigh's gone,
Yeah, they're forming
Dave
Journey
Brown
at
is
this point,
gone.
right?
What's that?
They're forming Journey at this point. Those
Yeah, oh
guys
yeah,
are
yeah.
forming Journey. They're in
Yep,
the recording
absolutely.
studio, and now he's bringing some of that fusion players with them. And there's a little bit of his feet in the past and his feet in the present, and a little bit of taste of what's coming in in the next album, of so to speak. It's sort of a weird crossroads for him with this band, and there's a lot of maybe the prog rock scene being big in '74, King Crimson and so forth. There is a little bit of that art rock in his presentations. Like some songs been reworked in a way of 1974 listening habits, I think. It kind of gives me that vibe of the fusion touch, but a
Well, the
little bit.
fusion for sure, because he's really
Yes.
embracing jazz and fusion and the spirituality of it all this time. Because he was doing like albums with Alice Coltrane and
Yes.
stuff with McLaughlin. So, and he's got some different vocalists on here. So
Yes.
there's definitely a more um, airy kind of not afraid to take some of these songs down different avenues, and there's a lot of jamming on here, and
Yes.
I like this album a lot. There's a lot of people who consider Lotus to be the greatest Santana live album of all time. And I really would like talk to Steve Keeler, man. Keeler loves this album and he will swear up and down it's the greatest Santana live album. And I just as far as his guitar playing goes, he's on fire on here. but there's really cool, like weird, like synthesizer effects, and
Yes.
the some of the keyboards are on here are just really out there. It's very spacey, very
That's what I was
spiritual.
trying to get at. That's exactly what I was trying to. I'm trying to find the right words. It's almost like it's the same picture with a different frame. You know, he got the same song going through a different, um, you know,
Different lens, so to speak, right?
yeah, different lens, if you will. And but you still like what he does. It's just that it's nice to hear a different version of this song, and they're not trying to copy the album. They're showing you what the band of the present is doing to these songs, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Right on.
No, definitely
Great,
good.
great.
So, yeah, if you want, I can send you some more information on this, so if you can check out the expanded.
Definitely.
But all right, so that was whatever that was,
That
74,
was
right?
74, I believe it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
74. I don't have anything up until 76. You got anything between 74 and 76?
Uh, nope.
Nope.
No.
Okay. So I've got
Uh,
and you might have this too. I got the New Year's Eve 1976 from the Cow Palace.
I do. I do. I have, and that's the one with, yeah, that the New Year's concert.
Yeah, this is really good too. So December 31st, 1976 at the Cow Palace in Daly City, California. Also apparently an FM live broadcast. And again, some of these are boots and things, but they sound great and they're good. And here he's starting to move into. So right now we were looking post Caravanserai. So you got like what Festival and Borboleta and a couple of those albums. And now starting to, you can tell by the way he looks. I mean, you can tell Carlos, based on his haircut, you can kind of tell what phase he's going into. So now we're
Yes.
starting to move into more of the commercial era, which is going
Mhm.
to come very, very shortly thereafter. But you got like it starts off with some cool tunes from those albums: Carnival, Let the Children Play, Ugando, right? It's a nice medley. Black Magic Woman, Gypsy Queen's on here, Dance Sister Dance. So these are really cool songs from like the Festival album, the Borboleta album, which I think are very underrated. Revelations, Maria Caracoles, Savor, Tosantli Overture, Let Me, Europa's on here, Soul Sacrifice, and Let the Music Set You Free. So I think I like this because it's got a mix of the stuff that he was doing at the time with a couple of classics,
Me
as opposed
too.
to some of
But
these
the
other ones, which is
Utopia and
all
yeah,
similar set list, right?
right
So
on.
I think very, very good. I like this one a lot. I think it's very,
Me
very
too. Me
cool.
too. Just an interesting note. I have a Journey live album of that same venue, same year without well, obviously this is not T Perry period, but they put out a live. They did a radio broadcast, and it's only a couple weeks away from Santana's performance. So
Okay.
yeah, you would like it. You would like it because they concentrate on the very first album of the uh, Journey. But anyway, next to me, I don't know, it's a 77 Moonflower because it's got some live material on here. And so I like this. To me, it was like to me it was like the first I don't know compilation for me because it's kind of like we get studio stuff, but you got some live performances, and I do like the cover of the zombie. She's not there.
Very
I
good.
enjoy that. I think they do that really well.
Yep.
And so yeah, this is a great some great performances.
It's weird how it's laid out though, right? Because I like,
Yeah.
I think they weren't the first band to do these kind of like live studio album hybrids at the time. The first one that comes to mind is like Kiss Alive 2, right? Which has all the live stuff, and then the final side of the vinyl is all the studio stuff. On this, they intersperse the new studio tracks in between all the live stuff. So it's almost like,
Yes.
and the way the live stuff is recorded, you don't hear a lot of crowd noise. So like for years, I was kind of like, well, what's live and what's studio on this? I
Yeah, I
don't
know.
but it's really good. Moonflower is excellent. It's really
Yes, it
excellent.
is.
I almost wish though they would have set it up where all the studio stuff was at the end or at the beginning and then you
Yes.
whole live performance. But it's still
Yes, like
for
when
what
you
it
get
is,
the
it's great.
traffic had that last exit. They had first some studios on side A, side B was live. Or like in Wheels of Fire, I think it was from Cream, they had studio stuff on one album and the other side was live.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can separate that, but they did it. And you know what? It's so well recorded, even the live stuff, that you didn't know if it was studio or not until you look
Yeah.
at the print because it's that good. I mean, obviously the drum solo with the giveaway and a few other
Yeah.
things, but yeah, it's but it's a good performance for
It
sure.
is. It's almost the antithesis because for the longest time all we had was Moonflower and Lotus originally was only released in Japan, so that was never an official release here. But for the longest time, you only had the two, and I think Lotus and Moonflower are so far removed from each other, right? Because you got Lotus is like raucous and like raw and loud and whatnot, and this is very pristine and very nicely recorded, and
Yes,
it couldn't be any different, right?
yes.
If you listen to one, you listen to the other, and they're only a couple of years apart. You're thinking, is this the same band? You know? So
But that's an interesting take that you're saying because my next choice is 79, unless you got something in between
I know,
that.
yeah, I have a little bit of a
Now,
gap.
this is one of my favorite period of the band too. When it comes to like, I love the first three albums, so I love that period of Santana. But I love Inner Secrets. I love the Marathon period, the Z-Bar.
Really
That
good.
whole area when he All I Ever Wanted and Marathon, he's getting played on the radio. I didn't know it was so FM accessible like that was when I grabbed it. And 78, 79, those two albums are to me like killer, top to top, wonderful sonically, vocally. I mean, the bass is awesome, guitar, but these are songs and not a lot of stretch and jamming. Though they
No.
still give you cues that they've got percussionists there, but it's not what we know what he did in in previous in that 70s where it was they're just more AO&R. They're going to be radio friendly. They're going to be hit makers again. And
Well,
so they have
he brought Alex Ligertwood in on vocals, and I mean, that guy is perfect for that style of music.
oh,
You know,
great.
great
She's
voice.
one of my favorite singers, actually, to
Yeah,
be
great
honest.
voice. Great voice.
And I didn't know about it till years later. There's like a thing called 88 had Viva Santana as a combination. They had some video, and there was a couple performances of this time period that I thought, oh, I wish I could get that. Well, it's coming in my mail today. It's called Santana Down and Under live in Australia, 1979, and it basically those two albums that we were just talking about, and his past on this concert. So if you can get this, because coming today, I never seen it entirely, but love the footage that was on this compilation DVD that I wanted the whole show. And because Canada Post was on strike, I had a delay, but it told me it's coming in today. Of course, we're taping this morning. So anyway, but I got to check this out and I'll give you a full report next time I tell you. But Santana Down Under, I went for this couple of footage that was in this DVD that I wanted the whole show, and now I got it.
Trying to
I just
remember
wanted
who
the
was playing.
CD of this. This is just a DVD, by the way.
Oh, it's
I
just
don't
DVD.
own
Okay,
this.
yeah.
It's a DVD, so it's a visual thing for me. But I wish, yeah, maybe there's a bonus CD with it. I don't know.
Trying to remember who was playing keyboards for him at the time. Was it Tom Coster or was it Chester Thompson? I don't remember. Late 70s. It was one of the two of them. I don't remember which one. Or maybe it was both of them at the same time. I don't know. I think Chester Thompson, I think, took over the keyboards after Tom left. So it might be Tom Coster. I think he did most of the
I'll
most,
let you know.
yeah, yeah.
I'll let you know because
Don't
see
remember.
it. Check it out.
Yeah, and I'm just right now I'm curious because I know like Tom was with them for a while. So all right, so on Moonflower was Tom Coster. I'm assuming he was still on board in 79. I don't think the Chester Thompson era started till the early 80s, but I'd be curious to know because
Yeah.
both were great in the band. Tom
Oh,
Coster,
big
absolute
time.
legend. Yeah, yeah. So I have, you have anything else like in the late 70s, early 80s? The next one I have is 83. So if you don't have anything.
No, no, go ahead.
Okay, so this, I just got this, and this is, it's a
Is it
combination.
Bop tour?
What's that?
Is that when you toured for Z-Bop or whatever that album was? In '82.
I believe so. Yes. Um, so this is Jeff Beck, Carlos Santana, and Steve Lukather live in Karuizawa, Japan. So there was a festival there. So you had the Jeff. So I guess on a weekend you had the Jeff Beck's group playing. You had, and this was for his flat on his Flash tour. So we had Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie on vocals, and I think Nile Rodgers also was playing with him. You had Toto was playing, and Carlos Santana and his band were playing. So you've got on disc one, you've got a whole set of Jeff Beck and his band Steve Lukather comes out and plays with them. And then over on disc two, it's all Santana band stuff. And at the end, you've got Jeff, Carlos, and Steve all jamming together on a couple tracks, which is pretty cool. It's really good recording. Again, June 1st, 1986 in Japan. And like I said, I just got this. Ken Golden's got this. It was called the Nagano session. I think it's what they call it. But very cool stuff. And there's a shot of them all playing together.
I have that on like the DVD
On a
down.
video, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I also have it it was like an audio file back in the days of LimeWire. I didn't know, but it was like a bootleg for the longest time. So I never knew it made it into a physical copy. So I have to add that to it.
Just
'Cause,
came out. Yeah.
yeah, so that's cool. So Ken will be, boy, I'm going shopping today.
The only thing I do want to tell you, though, which I was a little disappointed on disc one, it lists track number nine is Gets Us All in the End, which is the big crazy rock song from the Flash album. It's not on here. It's listed
Oh
on here, but it's
no.
not on here. Yeah. So other than that, everything else is the same, but it's quite good.
Probably because the video has it, and
Probably.
the
Yeah. They
audio
probably
probably
copied the
what it is.
track. Yeah, they probably copied the
Yeah,
track.
that's probably what to happen because I do have that show as a digital download. So nothing to me since '88, unless you have anything before that.
I have nothing else till the 2000s. So
Okay, so in '88 they put out Via Santana, kind of a compilation greatest hits, but
yeah,
it's like he took a lot of live samples, like an anthology of his stuff. No, there's some. It's just like Moonflower, has some studio stuff in between and all that, and so I enjoyed it. And I got this as a Columbia House collector as a kid,
remember
right?
that.
This is the
Yeah.
beginning. This is probably my first Santana purchase, long time ago in the CD world, right? Because it's '88, I started collecting CDs, and then I learned later there was a DVD of this, and it was a compilation of all the footage of some of these performances and some, because you get a lot of good interviews, and he talks about where his headspace was at this period of time or this period of time, and so right from Ed Sullivan Theater right down to the present day at the time would be '88, right? Right. So this was great, and that's how I learned that there's some footage of that '79 period, and that's why I got that thing today. But very good stuff. Nothing that we haven't mentioned already. I mean, everything there that you might like, but it is like the greatest hits of his time. And so, if you wanted to get a compilation of great footage of what he did up to that date, this is a good DVD to have. But even better, they got some extra songs when you buy the CD. There's some extra stuff. I mean, totally, there's 15 tracks on both CDs, 30 songs here. So I like it. And it's not stuff that we're hearing from Lotus. None of these are different live takes from different things. They're not repeating any live album. Now, I don't know if there was a sample from the Filmore stuff that they did much years later, but I don't think so. But anyway, it's good to have. And it was picked by Carlo. It wasn't like the Columbia Records went ahead and did it. He handpicked his favorite versions of some of that. At one point in the video, which is cool, because I guess we heard Black Magic Woman 100,000 times, that he took a version of Black Magic Woman and blended into one song, but you're in black and white film. Here's doing that. Then it's the Woodstock piece. Then it's in the '70s, like a Lotus period, and it's the same song, but they go from whatever few measures and made it into one song. And now you can tell that they jump all over the place because the room's different. The live audience might be a little louder in the background, but it was great that they made a mismatch of all these video clips of them doing a song seamlessly put together. Like it was a really pretty creative packaging. So I thought for a guy that does videos or have write songs, you can appreciate the artist presentation on that.
Yeah, I
So
saw
that's
one of the times I
that.
saw them at Bethel Woods up in the old Woodstock site. They played that on the big screen before they came on, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, nice, nice. Speaking of, before I left your Woodstock, I went to Woodstock location on my way back from Newburgh when I was down for the Fall Fest, and and we were touching the speakers that was one of the original speakers that was there at Woodstock, and you could hear the crowd and all that coming through the speakers, and we were following the whole timeline of who played what, and there's so many people that played there. What a shame they would have the same fame that Santana had they
It
released
included in
it.
the movie. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, included in the movie. What a missed opportunity.
I know.
But good for Santana. So I wouldn't have anything up to that date to Sacred Fire. What about you? You have anything before?
Oh, I have that somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is live in Mexico, and it was dedicated to the life of Chavez, and he did a special concert. And being Mexico, he's gonna be, I think he's like the rock god there, and it's a really good show and great performances, and I enjoyed it. It's also some songs of what was happening up to that present day, but this is 1993. 1993. You have anything in the 90s? You said you took
I
two
I
class.
don't have anything up till 20. I have two left, and they're both from 2011.
Okay, show me what you got.
All right. So let's have another meeting of Santana and McLaughlin live at Montreux 2011. It's called
Oh, that's
Invitation to
nice.
Illumination. Yeah, this is really hot. This is really good stuff. And again, they tackle stuff that they had worked on previously, and it's really good. And they're both playing Paul Reed Smith guitars now, which is kind of interesting. But I just think this is really cool to see these two guys playing together again so many years later because they've still remained really good friends. So this is a really hot set. So this July 1st, 2011 at the Montreux Jazz Festival. Really good. And then the last
Cool.
one I have also at it's taken from the same festival. This is the Santana band doing their full set. So Carlos did the set with McLaughlin and then he did the full Santana set. And this, of course, he's got his wife Cindy in here as well as I believe this has Dennis Chambers, if I remember correctly, on drums. No, actually, it's his wife. That's right. But it's got a ton of tracks. This is probably one of my favorite Santana live concerts on video because it's so long and encompasses so. I mean, everything's on here. You know, they do covers. This is when he did that covers album, right? So he's doing
Yeah.
back on here, and there's all sorts of other covers on here, and all the Santana classics. It's really well done.
Did you have any special guests like that covered album where you had all these special people show up?
I don't believe.
Just his band doing those songs?
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, it's been a while since I've seen this. Oh, here's the lineup. So it's Carl Perazzo, Benny Ritviel, Bill Ortiz, Raul Ricao, Andy Vargas, Carlos Santana. Oh, Dennis Chambers is on drums. Okay, so that's why, because Cindy comes out and plays a couple songs with them, but she wasn't a
Okay.
full-time member of the band yet. So this has got Dennis Chambers on drums, David K. Matthews, Jeff Cressman, Tony Lindsay, and Tommy Anthony. But I don't remember any other big stars coming out to join them on here. But it's other than Cindy, Blackman, I guess her name, right?
Yeah. Yeah. She played with
Yes, Cindy
Lenny
Blackman
Kravitz.
Santana. Yeah. So yeah, but this was before they were already married at the time, but this was before she joined his band full time because he still had Dennis Chambers. But with Dennis Chambers is amazing, right? So good on here. But yeah, this is really good too. Another really good concert.
Now, the one I have is remember when Greg Rowley and Neil Sean got back together for Santana IV?
Yeah.
And they put a live concert playing it, and it's called the House of the House of Blues in Las Vegas. So
Yeah.
you get the DVD and the two CDs, and it's great to see their faces of them playing together after all the time. I mean, the different Neil Sean still has the Journey sound in his guitar pedals, and but they really jammed it out, and of course there's some original songs that they added, new songs, and the blast of the past. So this is something I think you need to complete. You need to get this because I know you like the first three albums, and then we came back with that fourth one. You gave a good review, and I went and got it because of your review. But then I followed it up when I saw that they put a live concert because they had a short tour. It wasn't something they
I saw
went
it.
all around the world, but you definitely want it. It's a great package, my friend. Great pictures. It
Nice.
shows everybody in fine form, making room for each other. Cool booklet, and but the best thing is the quality of it. But let me again, Carlo, Neil's back, Greg is back, And yeah, I think everybody want, but I think they have to, the different percussionists from the. I think there was a couple other cats that he had in the previous band, but yeah, great sound and live concert. They really were really warmed up, and I think they played for several nights before they filmed it. And it shows like a band of brothers here. Like you can tell it's like a family reunion almost. You can
Yeah.
tell that they're having fun because they haven't done this in a long time. And it's obviously something they can check off. Hey, we said we would do this one day. We did it, you know? Um,
I was lucky enough to see that tour at Madison Square Garden. It was great. It was really great. It was a double bill, so Neil did double duty because Journey headlined and Santana opened up. And I went with Steve Keeler, and we were sitting like right down in front. I haven't been that close at a show at the Garden ever, and it was so good. It was so good. And that how long ago was what year was that now? It's like 10 years ago, right?
yeah, almost. It's 9 years. It's 2016.
I was so because I really like the studio album a lot too, and I was
Me
kind of
too.
hoping they would do something else together. Maybe it was just a one-off, I don't know, but the show was glorious. It was really, really good, really good.
But so you're telling me you saw Santana and they opened up before Journey?
Yep.
Maybe that's why. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I was just like, but that's one hell of a bill. That's amazing to see
It was
that.
great, and then they played like an hour and a half, so it's not
So
like
they gave you a
yeah
complete
they gave
performance.
them there was almost a full headline set, which was really great, but it was so good. I mean, to see Neil and Carlos up there together and Greg, it was amazing. It's really,
Right
really
on. I That would have been a scene to see. I saw him in the after the Supernatural album, and he'd come back. He's big on top of the world with Rob Thomas and others. People, Eric Clapton sang on that album and so forth. And so I didn't see him to I think '97, and then year 2000 something. But that would be the last. I don't. And then I saw him at Caesar Windsor. Uh, um, so I think in total I saw him 4 times, and he was scheduled to come back, but he fell, and they canceled a leg of
I remember
show.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so and that would have been my fifth time. So hopefully we see him again.
Well, every time that Santana tours, they play at Bethel Woods, which is where you went to the old Woodstock site.
Yes,
And I've seen them there at least three times. And I remember the last time I went was probably maybe right before the pandemic. And I was kind of like, all right, I've seen them so many times over the years. Maybe I don't need to go again. But something in me tells me that the next time he plays at Bethel Woods, I should go because that might be the last time. So, and it's really
probably a good
special
idea.
seeing him there because it has so much history because he played at the original Woodstock in
Big
'69.
time.
And they really play up the history of that first appearance whenever he plays here. And they always pack it in. I saw I think the most memorable concert I ever saw with Santana was when they played at Bethel Woods with Steve Winwood opening up. That was really good because I had never seen Steve Winwood live, and he played like a lot of Traffic stuff and a lot of his good solo stuff. That was really memorable. So yeah,
Yeah,
I probably
that's
should go see
amazing.
Santana at least one more time.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll be joining you. I know how to get there now.
Man, you know how to get there, right? It's a bit of a drive, but probably be worthwhile seeing him at the
For
old
sure. And
site.
always a good time to hang out with you, my friend.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's our show here today. Live albums of Santana. Obviously, there's probably a lot more than what we showed
A
today. This
lot
is
more.
one of those bands that's got a ton. So if there are any specific albums or CDs and performances that you have, my dog is trying to tell me something. List them in the comments below because there may be some stuff that we see you guys list that we may want to go out and get because that's usually how this works. So and we'll see you next month here on Live Album Love with another band, and to be determined, we'll let you know in ahead of time so
Yep.
you guys can get prepared because that's what everybody likes doing. And
Yes.
visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together, all the
Oh,
damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit that like button before you leave because the more likes we get, the more that YouTube is going to send this video out to Santana fans everywhere, right through the amazing wonders of the algorithm, however the hell that works. And so please hit that like button, folks, and we'll see you
and
next time
please
here.
join the membership. Be a member like me. You
Very
know,
good.
he does a lot of work, and if you want some a little bit extra perks and know some other things, I get some sneak previews of some shows that you might not have seen because I'm a member, and it's like a couple bucks. It's like you spend more of that in a coffee in 2 days than you do, so it's worth it, folks. Join the membership. It helped Pete, and you know, it's just a little feather in his cap to know that some people out there appreciate the extra mile that he gives putting on these programs.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. And thanks for all of you who already are members. And to all the future members, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time here on Live Album Love for Rick Labonte. I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Coming up, we've got the professor's picks in just a couple hours. Tomorrow is the review crew, and Sunday, ranking the albums of Toad coming up on Sunday.
Nice.
So stay tuned for all that and more. We'll see you next month here on Live Album Love. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care, everybody.